If you've ever wanted to make almost 100 million coins an hour without any requirements, maybe this video is for you, because I've been thinking of a quite interesting money-making method that has essentially no requirements and could make a ton of coins. And hey, would you look at that? There's a fire sale going on Skyblock right now, and it is for another rune. If you remember the last rune, the Grand Searing, it sells for a lot of coins right now, so the Spellbound rune for the helmet could be the same thing. And if you're interested in buying one of these for yourself without spending a lot of the coins, you could buy some gems with code BANANA on the Hypixel store for 5% off of any purchase on there. Gems, ranks, boosters, anything you can name on the store, you can get a 5% discount with code BANANA, and it would support the channel a lot. So I would appreciate it a lot, because literally it's the best way to support me. So thank you for using the code, and definitely try and get this fire sale. I know I'm buying some skins. This money-making method is going to be in the Rift, and that's why I say it has effectively no requirements. You do have to progress within the Rift a bunch to do this, but progressing within the Rift is a lot easier than progressing within the real world, because you don't need a Hyperion to progress in the real world. So going into the Rift, you may be thinking that they nerfed the main money methods that you could do in the Rift, which was transferring out some of the items and selling them to people who wanted motes. And that's true. They did nerf selling fantastic chocolate chips and Bubba blisters. You can't transfer them out and make a boatload of money anymore. But because of that, that means that motes that you gain inside the Rift are actually worth substantially more than they were, because you can't bring in motes with your real coins. So it's its own economy inside of here now when it comes to the motes, which means that these Shen items are actually worth a decent amount of real life coins, because people just want to buy them off the auction house, because you can still auction house the majority of these Shen items, specifically the Rift Prism. The Rift Prism is very, very good. It's going to give you 11 magical power, and we all know how endgame players feel about their numbers going slightly up. You know what they're going to do for those numbers going slightly up? They're going to pay a ton of coins, and they're also going to pay a ton of motes. So right now, the cost of the Rift Prism is 7.5 million motes, and that is a ton of motes. I don't want to disparage that at all, but I do want to remind you that people were able to transfer their coins into motes for a while, and that's probably still in effect a little bit on this auction. I don't think that there are people out here grinding 14 million motes fully themselves within the short time that the Rift has been out, so these are probably still a bunch of transferred in motes, and the price could end up being a little lower, or it could just standardize it, and like 7.5 is the low bid. Who really knows? But with it being 7.5 million motes, let's just check how long it would take you to get these motes, and then how much this would sell for on the auction house. So if you're mote grinding, you're going to want to have been progressed pretty damn far in Vampire Slayer, because you're going to want the McGrubber's Burger. McGrubber's Burger is going to increase your mote rates by a lot. It's going to increase your selling by 25% if you have 5 McGrubber's Burgers, and you're also going to get a ton more motes from picking up the little particle, like these orbs right here. You're going to get like a bajillion more motes from picking those up. So combining those two things and the best money-making method that I was doing already, which would be grinding thralls and fledglings without doing bosses in the Vampire Slayer area, you're able to make over 300,000 motes an hour when you are just grinding, which is super duper good, because that means you're going to be able to get the Rift Prism in 25 hours. Now, hold on. You may be thinking that 25 hours seems like an absurd grind for whatever money method you're trying to do, but let's look at how much this sells for on the auction house, because while there isn't one currently up, the last one that sold for 2 billion coins. 2 billion. And if you look at real life Shen auction items, like the real world stuff in here, like the Artifact of Control and Pandora's Box, those items consistently just keep going up and up and up in price, and the same thing will probably happen for the Shen items. So right now, that 2 billion coin sell price would mean that you're making 80 million coins an hour. But if that goes up to 2.5 billion coins, which it totally could, because it is a good talisman, you would be making 100 million an hour. And it purely depends on the price and how high this is going to go. You know, it could just crash right after I make this video, and this money method couldn't be as good. But As I said, no requirements on this. You don't need a Blaze setup. You don't need a Kudra setup. You don't need a mining setup. This is something where you literally just need to be progressed within Vampire Slayer enough to have burgers. And even then, you don't really need that because you could theoretically do this without burgers and just make less coins an hour whenever you're doing it. So this is a very intriguing money method that a lot of people have access to. And it could be quite annoying for some of those Iron Man players that are trying to win their Shen auctions because people might just start grinding Rift Prism in order to make money. Who knows? I just wanted to point this out for people because it is an interesting thing that I almost did last week, but I decided to play Diablo 4 instead because Diablo 4 is more fun than Skyblock. I said it right there. So that's gonna be it for this video. I just wanted to point out the Rift Prism as a money method. Hope it helps you. Bye.